after all the mistakes they made, face-offs they've lost, too many men on the ice, not enough shots on net, they still made it this far. It's fair to be critical that you don't like the fact that they lost at home. 3 games at home, back-to-back seasons to Florida at home. I don't have anything for that. But to me, people want me to be fury. They want fury out of me. They want Joey Murta tonight. I can't do that. It's absolutely disappointing the way that they lost. But the season on a whole, you know what holes they need to fill. And right now, it's up and to the right for the Bees. I know fans don't want to hear that. But let's ask Ty Anderson of 98.5 thesportshub.com and, of course, the Sports Hub Underground podcast. Ty, your thoughts? People want fury. I don't have any. What about you?
I don't have a ton. I mean, did anyone think they were going to win this series? Like, I think you wanted a respectable showing, and going 6 games against a team that is better than you is success. And yeah, you want them to win, but I don't know. If they got out of this series, I think they're going to get swept by New York. I really do. I think that when we look at things as a zero-sum equation, we're going to be pissed off a lot. Like, 31 teams end the year pissed off, right? Like, it only ends good for one team. And so I think what the biggest thing for me, it was a bridge year. I spent all year, Joe, calling them the Moneyball Bruins because they could not replace the talent they lost, but they tried replacing it in the aggregate. And for the most part, they got valuable contributions from those guys. And so for me, they didn't bow out in the first round for the 3rd year in a row. Had they blown it against Toronto, which many people thought they would, whether that was in Game 7 or Game 1, they didn't think they were as good as Toronto. You didn't stall for the 3rd year in a row. And I think that means something. As a franchise, you never want to be stuck in the mud and have 3 straight first-round exits. You don't want to go backwards, right? 3 straight years of first-round exits, that would be, at the very best, stalling, and at the very worst, going backwards as a franchise.
So, speaking of the franchise in a whole, yes, the last 15 years have been a complete disappointment. They have the one championship, but the rest of it has been disappointing. After tonight's loss, though, I see the holes. Clearly, when you lose faceoffs in your own zone, you have too many men on the ice, which somebody needs to be accountable for. So at some point, someone needs to be accountable for that one, but just not enough shots on net, too many turnovers, defensive issues. The holes that they have in this roster, and I don't want to look ahead just yet, but I feel like they're in a good position up and to the right like a stock. It's okay to be disappointed, but yeah, they made it this far. They had their chances. Tonight, I thought Bobrovsky was awesome. Barkov crushed the faceoffs. And I thought their guys stepped up where you thought Pavel Zacha may have got them going early on. And really, they just couldn't generate any scoring chances from there. That's at least my thoughts, Ty, on the night.
Yeah, their lack of a high-end center, I think, really reared its head in this series. It's one thing to try to neutralize Matthews, Tavares, and what Toronto throws at you. It's another thing to try to neutralize Alexander Barkov, who is one of the best centers in hockey, and you saw that all series long. And then, what it did when you get Sam Bennett back for the Panthers, like, you're able to balance that now. Now you can put Verhaeghe and Tkachuk with Bennett, and you have Barkov, who's basically like Bergeron in terms of you can put anybody with him, and he'll drive that line. And that was a task that was it was too tall. It was too tall for them to overcome. This team desperately needs, and I know we don't want to look too far ahead just yet, but they desperately need another high-impact center. And they did their best this year to make do with 0 cap space, 0 capital trade for a guy like Elias Lindholm, for example. But it is the glaring need moving forward. I don't think you can enter next year and say, okay, well, we got Matthew Poitras coming back. He's going to be healthy. No, you need a legit, I would say, 70-point center who can win about 55% of his faceoffs. I think you need another one of those. I don't need a superstar, but I need a guy that I can lean on and know that he's going to win a key draw. He's going to come through with some big plays when you need them most. And namely, you need a guy for David Pastrnak. At the end of the day, people are probably pissed about David Pastrnak. He had Morgan Geekie as his center, and I like Morgan Geekie. He should not be David Pastrnak center in playoff games. That should not be a thing.
Yeah, I don't want people thinking we're making excuses for the Bruins because those will come out soon, right? The injury, right? We probably already heard one on DeBrusque. What's the update on that one?
Yeah, Jake DeBrusk suffered a broken hand just before the bye week. Did not fully heal for him until just before the playoffs. I thought he was really good in the playoffs too, and this is another guy that you got to make a call on. I would aim to keep him personally. I think he's the only win that you have from that 2015 draft class, and that first round, rather. You got a good second-round pick there, Brandon Carlo. But I just look at that free agent class, and unless you're getting a legit superstar wing like Jake Gensel or Sam Reinhart, I think you just keep DeBrusk because I think the price is going to be worth it. I think it's going to age well. I think that's a contract that would age well. If you get him in at $5.5 million per year, I think when the cap eventually continues to increase up until probably $100 million in the not too distant future, that contract will look really, really good for your team. And he's been progressing as a two-way winger. I think he's been really good. Their best efforts came with him moving his feet. I thought he finishes with 11 points in 13 playoff games this postseason. Not bad. So I'd keep that guy around if you can make it the money work.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from my show, The Joe Murray Show, here. For more Bruins analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.